Good, everybody? It's your boy Raheem Escalay. This is 403 Sports Talk, episode 494. Seriously, this is NFL Player EVALS episode only. Today we are talking about the defensive tackles, the interior defensive linemen, in other words. So we're just going to get right into it. We start with number 10, Zach Pickens out of South Carolina. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up settling in the draft class for this year. He's quietly been productive over the past two seasons and has a complete physical skill set. It's 6'3", 305. He's ideal size. He's stout, well leveraged. But also he has good length and somebody that, that's that short. You kind of think short and stubby. And no, it's not like that with him. He's an explosive athlete. He's quick first step, and he has upper body strength and enough to wrench through blocks. Possibly get to the quarterback. Pickens is one prospect I think is going to outplay, or who is outplayed where people have him in the draft. And what I mean by that is the skills that he possesses. I think he has a lot of upside, could go very early, and yet he falls on this list at number 10. So that's definitely a guy that you want to watch for. Number 9, Mozzie Smith out of Michigan. I watched a lot of Wolverines football this season, thanks to Fox and open website. You can watch it free on. Shh, no whistleblowing, not on the show. So I got a chance to look at all these guys here. Mozzie Smith, right now, when I wrote this, he has a college football playoff game to worry about. But soon enough, the 2023 NFL Draft discussion regarding this guy's stock will be impossible to ignore. It's going to be on ESPN everywhere. There's still a fair amount of projection within his evaluation. Like he has potential to go farther than what I think he can be. 8-9 years in this league, I think. He has immense upside, and I think that's something that GMs and head coaches are going to love and try to bank on. Unfortunately for him, there are prospects ahead of him on this list that are very, very talented. But here we have Mozzie Smith, another guy who could potentially be a first rounder. And I go to toe-to-toe with anybody who would try to argue against that. I'm bucked up, by the way. There's, I think the upside that I was just talking about, because he's lined up at end too. I think the upside comes when he moves inside and is able to do his dirt inside, stop the run, get to the quarterback. So those skills that he consistently showed on tape are reasons why I think, again, he could be a first-round pick. I don't know. Who knows? Here we go. Number 8. We're rolling down this list now. Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. It's a guy that I just watched tape and highlights on. I don't recall. I think I might have saw a little bit of Wisconsin and Wake Forest earlier in the year. Don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, Keanu Benton turned it on down the stretch in 2022, finishing the final season with 10 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. But in truth, the flashes of dominance have always been there. He's just putting it all together at the right time. Benton can still do a better job managing leverage. I think at times he's not the most agile athlete or best athlete even on the field. But he's a stack and shed master with his powerful hands, a lot of tricks, brutal strength. And he has, again, hand violence and initial bursts at the point of attack to provide pass rushing value as well. Number 7, Brandon Dorius out of Oregon. Another guy that I got a chance to watch a lot this year on TV. The Ducks were all over Fox. I love that he was an absolute stat monster and 4-year player at Oregon. First of all, we'll just say that. Oregon, some people say. I just pronounce it that way. But yeah, so it's possible that Brandon Dorius returns to school to help Oregon gear up for a potential Pac-12 title bid in 2023. But until an announcement is made, he still holds a spot on my top 10 defensive tackle list going into the 2023 NFL Draft. As of today on this recording, February 4th, 2023, I have no information on that yet, if he is going to declare or not. When I do know, or if you know, definitely let us know. Let us know, most definitely. Dorius earned 9 tackles for a loss and 2.5 sacks in 2022, making a constant impact on the defensive line for the Ducks. And sitting at 6'3", 290 pounds, suburb proportional length, he's an alignment versatile wild card with power, great lateral agility, and violent hands, and that's what you like in your pass rusher. Number 6, Ruke Orhoro out of Clemson. This is a guy I just watched highlights on. I was a little pissed when I realized that DJ you don't know his last name. He transferred to Oregon State. I was a little pissed that he's not with Clemson, that he wasn't with Clemson anymore. So I kind of like turned an eye away from them, if you will. Miles Murphy and Brian Brees get all the hype on Clemson's defensive line, and their stats scream why. Not only the Tigers' prospects with monitoring were worth monitoring in the trenches. You got to look at the whole team. I can mention though that Tyler Davis, KJ Henry as well. But the early 3rd round candidate on Clemson's unit is this guy. He's incredibly young, for coming into the NFL at 21, fairly new to the game, having started as a junior in high school. But already he's 6'4", 303 pounds. He's a defender, an explosive threat with a lot of agility, strength, and natural leverage. Just really pushes those offensive linemen back on their backs. Versatile trench warrior here. You put him on the end spot. You can have him play 2 or 3, wherever you want him over there. He will definitely fit. Number 5. Gervon Dexter out of Florida. Now, this is a guy who's a fucking freak, crazy athlete, fast, everything you love. On one hand, it would have been ideal to see more production from Gervon Dexter ahead of his declaration of coming to the draft, but he's one such defensive tackle prospect where the tape reigns supreme over sack and tackle for loss numbers. He's still should seek more consistency, but he's an early round talent, most definitely. Former 5-star recruit Dexter has an incredibly long, compact frame, 6'6", 313 pounds. He looks lean for his size, but he has quantifiably elite play strength. He can forklift blockers in both phases, and he has explosive athleticism to capitalize in the backfield consistently. This guy is going to be someone. Number 4, Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh. This is a guy who I got a chance to see a lot of due to watching Kenny Pickett's tape last year. It was all over him. He was my favorite quarterback of the class. I like Malik Lewis too. But anyway, Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh, 6 foot tall, 275 pounds. Compared to most players on this his list, he looks like an edge rusher, inside linebacker, something small. I know size outliers like him need to be elite. You got to do something very, very good. You're not that big. But to counteract, the size concerns gyms may have, and win over the scouts, luckily for that, he can. He's a walking mismatch inside with his elite first step, hyperactive twitch, ankle flexion, violent hand usage. He has it all. and he's so small that he's just quick enough to get by the guards with the little swim, whatever he does to get by them. He just, on tape, the way that they penetrate the offensive line, this guy is fucking nuts, yo. Oh my God. I think all the tools are going to allow him to be a consistent disruptor at the NFL. Size might play a part in some situations, but this guy is going to be someone who's going to jump out to your eye. Kind of like a defender like TJ Watt. Kind of like that. But, this guy's younger. He's going to come with a little more athleticism, stuff like that, finesse, whatever you want to call it. Number 3, Siaki Ika out of Baylor. This is another guy I only saw a little tape on. Those tackles don't often go in round 1 in my eyes. But now there's a decent chance we could see it happen 2 years in a row. Jordan Davis was claimed by the Eagles last year with the 13th overall pick, I believe. This guy is gonna definitely field round 1 interest from teams in need of a nose tackle. The nose tackle mold is scarce, and he has an incredibly high ceiling within that mold, maybe even higher than Jordan Davis. Honestly, he's much more natural at acquiring leverage. And at his size of 6'4", 358, he brings a natural explosiveness and power with dominating strength in run defense. This guy is like crazy. And as most of these lists, these are great athletes, so the 2-1 comes down to preference. Number 2, we got Brian Brees out of Clemson. In spite of his consensus first-round draft billing, it's not a lock that he declares for the draft, honestly. I've no confirmations. Anything's been given, and regardless, his injury concerns may scare teams away. But his rare ability his rare ability is it's hard to match on film, honestly. Former 5-star recruit Brees has an uncommon blend of burst, lateral agility, and power within a long 6'5", 300-pound frame. And this year he looks to step up with his hand game, further maximizing his elite physical skill set. And he can be, he can be attacked for fucking blockers as a 3. So that's something that I think a lot of NFL teams are going to love. But just like this number 1 guy, he's going to go in the first round. This one is Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Before the season, Carter was my defensive tackle number 1. Now with the regular season concluded, he remains my defensive tackle number 1. It's not a matter of stacking one's guns. However, his 2002 tape simply confirmed he's standing as the 2023 NFL Draft top defensive prospect, and may go number 1 overall to Chicago, I believe so. I don't think that they're going to trade that pick, by the way. Comparisons for Carter have been made to New York Jets star Quinnen Williams, and they're not really far off. Carter has elite explosiveness and power, 6'3", 305 pounds, with the proportional length and prying strength to be a destructive force in both phases. He's a blue chip talent at one of the most important positions in the game today. That's it for my top 10 list, but you guys got to hear the honorable mentions. We got Gabe Hall out of Baylor, Colby Wooden out of Auburn, Fabian Lovett out of Florida State. I loved his tape, by the way. Go see him on YouTube. Tyler Davis out of Clemson, another one. Byron Young out of Bama. He's another one whose tape you should go see. Tyler Lacey at Oklahoma State. Moreau Olmo of Texas. I believe this dude on the list's brother or something like that. Keandre Colburn out of Texas. Carl Brooks out of Bowling Green. Delvoncha Maxwell out of Chattanooga. And that is it for episode 494 for the Sports Talk. Good to see you tomorrow, episode 495. I hope you all enjoy your day.